It all started in the tinned goods aisle. One minute I was a sophisticated shopper, the next I was sprawled among a pyramid of baked beans. The clatter was biblical. Every can seemed to sing my demise. As a terrified teenager helped me up, all I could think was, well, this is a new low. My body had become a prankster, and I was the punchline. This wasn't my first MS-induced slapstick moment, but the great supermarket tumble of a 23 was a turning point. My treatments were managing the beast, but chaos still reigned. So I decided to explore the wild world of alternative therapies, not for a cure, but for a little peace. Armed with skepticism and a credit card, I stepped into the unknown. My first stop in this bizarre quest for relief? The internet, a vast digital bazaar overflowing with both hope and utter nonsense. A place where miracle cures are just a click away, and separating fact from fiction feels like navigating a minefield. I found diets promising miracles, guaranteeing weight loss and renewed vitality with every page, each one more restrictive and less appealing than the last. Then, there were the supplements, concoctions made from everything imaginable, including shark cartilage, and countless testimonials about the supposed benefits of bee stings and, well, other bodily fluids. The internet truly is a wild place. Before diving in head first, I set some ground rules. Absolutely no stinging insects under any circumstances, no giving up wine because some things are simply non-negotiable, and I had to promise myself to always keep my sense of humor. This was going to be a long journey after all. I reminded myself that this was an investigation, a quest for knowledge, not a desperate search for a miracle cure. I carefully sorted the plausible options from the utterly bonkers ideas. Acupuncture? Maybe. It seemed relatively harmless. Herbal remedies? Perhaps if they didn't taste suspiciously like pond water. Yoga? Only if I could do it sitting down. My flexibility has its limits. Of course, friends chimed in with their own advice. Spiritual healers offering guidance over Zoom, the supposed benefits of cold water swimming, and so much more. Thankfully, my inherent skepticism shielded me from the most obvious snake oil salesman, but amidst the noise, I found whispers of things that might actually offer some real help. After careful consideration, I decided to start with acupuncture, and best of all, at least it didn't involve bees. That was a major win in my book. So, next stop, the intriguing world of needles, potentially questionable herbs, and hopefully, not too awkward yoga poses. Wish me luck. My first acupuncture session was surreal, stepping into a world of ancient practices and unfamiliar sensations. I remember feeling a mix of curiosity and apprehension as I walked through the door. The air was thick with incense, whispers exchanged between the practitioner and their assistant, and a tongue inspection that diagnosed damp heat. I wasn't entirely sure what that meant, but it sounded serious enough to warrant further investigation. The needles were tiny, almost delicate, but still intimidating. They gleamed under the soft light, promising a strange blend of discomfort and healing. I lay there bristling like a hedgehog, each needle a tiny flag planted in my skin. Trying not to move, convinced that even the slightest twitch would disrupt the flow of energy and undo all the good work. Next up, herbal remedies. The specialist prescribed a bag of twigs, roots and leaves, a veritable forest floor in a paper sack. My task was to boil this concoction into a tea, a process that filled my kitchen with an aroma that can only be described as earthy. The resulting brew smelled like a badger's burrow after a long winter, and tasted even worse. Imagine licking a damp forest floor and you're halfway there. I bravely, or perhaps foolishly, drank it for a month, pinching my nose and trying not to gag with every sip. The only magic it performed was clearing a room of anyone within smelling distance. Then came yoga, a practice I approached with slightly more optimism, but equally little grace. I chose a gentle class, thinking I could ease myself into the world of stretching and serenity, but my downward dog looked less like a graceful canine and more like a confused wombat trying to escape a laundry basket. Balance poses? Forget it. Tree pose was more like falling tree pose in my case. I wobbled precariously while others stood serenely, rooted to the spot like ancient oaks. Through it all, I managed to keep my sense of humor, which, let's be honest, was essential for survival. I quickly became the class clown, providing unintentional comic relief with every awkward bend and near fall. I was the living cautionary tale, demonstrating all the ways a yoga pose could go hilariously wrong. No dramatic physical changes yet, no sudden enlightenment, no newfound flexibility. But I was laughing at myself more, finding humor in my own awkwardness and imperfections, and that, I realized, was a form of therapy in itself, a much-needed dose of self-acceptance and lightheartedness. The real shift wasn't happening in my muscles or my flexibility, it was happening in my mindset. I was learning to embrace the comedy of it all, to find joy in the journey, even when I looked like a confused wombat along the way. The breakthrough wasn't dramatic, it was quiet. During my 5th acupuncture session I found myself truly relaxed. No worries, no anxiety, just calm. For 30 minutes the stress of chronic illness faded away. The needles weren't curing my MS, but they were puncturing my daily anxiety. I left feeling lighter, the world a little brighter. I realized I'd been so focused on physical fixes I'd missed the mental and emotional benefits. The herbal tea was awful, but the ritual was self-care. Yoga forced me to be present, quirks and all. The real game changer was perspective. I stopped fighting my body and started making peace with it. The goal wasn't to win the war against MS, but to find moments of truce. These therapies weren't cures, they were tools for living better. Not everything worked, of course. Some experiments fizzled out before they even began, while others crashed and burned in spectacular fashion. It was a process of trial and error, of constantly adjusting and recalibrating. The herbal tea was a disaster. A fragrant promise turned into a bitter reality. My kitchen bin still hasn't forgiven me for that concoction. I thought I was creating a soothing elixir, but it ended up tasting like swamp water. But acupuncture, that became my reset button, a sanctuary of stillness amidst the chaos. It was calming my mind, easing nerve pain, offering a temporary reprieve, if only for a while. Those moments of peace were precious, a reminder of the body's capacity to heal and find balance. Yoga? Oh, the yoga. I still wobble and fall, more often than I'd like to admit. But through it all, I've learned to listen to my body, to respect its limitations and to work with it, not against it. It's about finding that gentle balance, that mindful movement that honors where I am each day. The real win, the true turning point was shifting from passive patient, waiting for answers, to lead scientist in my own experiment. Taking charge, asking questions, and diving deep into research. Some things fail spectacularly, leaving me frustrated and disheartened. But others become cornerstones of my well-being, providing stability and strength. The power isn't in finding a magic bullet, a single cure-all that will erase everything. It's in the process of exploration, the willingness to try new things, to learn and adapt. It's about taking back a little control, reclaiming agency over my own body and mind, in a situation that often feels uncontrollable, where the illness seems to dictate everything. I'm building a toolbox filled with strategies and resources, not just for my illness to combat the symptoms, but for the experience of living with it, to enhance my quality of life. The journey is messy, unpredictable, and often frustrating, but it's mine, uniquely and authentically mine, and that I've learned is a powerful form of medicine, self-care, empowerment, and the unwavering belief in my own ability to heal and thrive. So, what's next for this reluctant wellness warrior? Acupuncture stays. Yoga too, laughter included. I'm learning to be kinder to myself. Progress isn't linear, and that's okay. I'm curious about meditation and massage, anything that brings a little more peace. Managing MS is a personal, often bizarre journey. The official medical route is the foundation, but the rest is for the soul. It's about building a life that feels good, even when my body doesn't. I want to hear your stories. What's the strangest or most effective thing you've tried? Share in the comments. Let's navigate this madness together, with honesty and laughter. Stay tuned for my next ridiculous adventure.